Today I'm going to show you how to play Portals and Prophets, a biblical time travel game set in ancient Israel. It takes about 30 to 60 minutes to play. So let's get it over to the table and see how it works. To set up the game, place the board in the center of the game area. Deal each player 3 Genesis cards and 1 Portal card. Players will place the Genesis cards in their hand and the Portal card face up in front of them. All unused Genesis and Portal cards are removed from the game. Next, shuffle and place the Old Testament and New Testament decks on the indicated spaces on the game board. Place the time machine on the Genesis space of the game board and the fuel marker on low. Place the 3 portals on Beersheba, Shiloh, and the Sea of Galilee. The location of the portals is just a suggestion for your first game. In future games, you can choose to place the portals anywhere you wish as long as there are at least 3 spaces from another portal. Players are now given 2 pawns of the same color. 1 pawn will be placed on the starting space of the score track, and then beginning with the starting player, players will place their other pawn at any location on the game board. 2 pawns can never be placed on the same location. Once all players have placed their second pawn, flip over the top 5 cards of the Old Testament deck and place them face up on the 5 open card spaces on the game board. Now that the setup is complete, the game can begin. Gameplay moves clockwise, beginning with the starting player. On a player's turn, he or she may take up to 4 actions from the following choices: draw, travel, or play. Draw either one of the 5 face-up cards, or blindly draw 1 card from the top of the Old or New Testament deck. As soon as a face-up card is taken, it is replaced by the top card of the Old Testament deck. You can never have more than 7 cards in your hand, so if you hold 7 cards in your hand, you must first discard a card before drawing another card. The second action you can take is to travel. Move your pawn from its current location to any adjacent location for 1 action. You can also teleport from 1 portal to any other portal for 1 action. Once during the game, you can play your portal card and move from your current location to any other location on the board. The other action you can take is to play a card from your hand to score points. To play a card, place it face up in front of you and move your score pawn forward the number of spaces indicated on the bottom of the card. Players can take the same action multiple times on a turn. For an example turn, a player could draw 1 card, move twice, and then play a card. Once a player takes 4 actions, their turn ends and play continues to the player on their left. Once all players have taken a turn, the round ends, and the time machine moves forward 1 century on the timeline. To play a card from your hand, you must be at the location indicated on the card, and the time machine must be within range of that event. At the start of the game, the fuel marker is at low, which means the century on the card must match where the time machine is on the timeline. To expand the range of the time machine, you can discard cards from your hand with fuel icons. Every fuel icon increases the range of the time machine by 1 century in both directions. So if the fuel marker is at 1 and the time machine is on the 14th century, players could play events in the 15th, 14th, and 13th century. Some cards have 2 icons, some have 1, and many cards have no icons. If the card has 2 fuel icons, the fuel marker can be increased by 2 spaces if that card is discarded. You cannot discard more than 1 card with 2 fuel icons on a turn, but there's no limit to the number of cards with 1 fuel icon you can discard on a turn. Fuel remains in the tank until a player increases the fuel gauge to full. When the tank is full, it means the range of the time machine is unlimited, and during that player's turn, they can play cards regardless of the time period on the card, as long as they are in the location of the card. At the end of that player's turn, the fuel marker is reset to low. Each round, the time machine travels 1 century forward in time, eventually making it easier to play New Testament cards. Once one player has played 3 New Testament cards, the end of the game is triggered. The current round is finished so that all players have had the same number of turns. Once the game ends, players will score their points to determine the winner. Most scoring occurs throughout the game as players play event cards. However, at the end of the game, players can receive bonus points in a variety of ways. Players receive 10 points for every region set they have completed. If a player has played 1 card from each of the 5 regions, they have 1 region set. So if a player plays 3 cards from each of the 5 regions, they would receive 30 points. Region cards are revealed from your hand at the end of the game and can be used like a wild card to help you complete a region set. Players also receive bonus points for winning symbol categories. There are 6 categories in the game. Players receive 7 points for having the most cards played with a particular symbol on them. If players tie for the number of most played cards with a particular symbol, both players receive the full 7 points. Symbol cards can be collected throughout the game and are revealed from a player's hand at the end of the game. They provide either 1 or 2 points, depending on the symbol, for every card played containing that symbol. The player with the most total points is the winner.